You place it on the table. You ask the spectator to think of the time he or she was born. The time is announced. You indicate that you do not wish to touch the watch. Please lift up the watch and see what time I've set. They do so, and the time matches minute for minute the time they thought of. Just a word about the watch. It's a fully functioning wristwatch. It is guaranteed for a full year and is a magnificent timepiece. We wear these as our daily watches. You may choose to do so, or of course just save them for the performances. But it is an unbeatable effect, and we commend it to you highly. The perfect time wristwatch. I've always enjoyed effects where things go from one place to another, any sort of a transposition effect, and particularly enjoyed the bill tube. My concern was that a bill tube was a bill tube. What was it? And so we developed the penultimate pen. This is a ballpoint pen, familiar to many individuals, but this is with an important difference. You set the pen simply by pulling on the barrel. As you'll notice, that reveals a brass chamber inside. The pen is then hung on your jacket in this manner. All right. Now, the routine that we suggest is by tearing a dollar bill in half. Half is left with the spectator, the other is half is vanished under a handkerchief or by your favorite method. Copying the bill, you simply load it in, or whatever you wish to use, a billet or a message. You load it in this way. You simply insert it in the pen, and as you remove the pen from your pocket, you push it against your shoulder. You set the pen down on the table, open it up, and note that it doesn't write. At that point, you say it must be the ink supply, so you unscrew the barrel, and inside find that the signed half, or otherwise identified half of the dollar bill has returned. That's penultimate. The perfect interlude for any card worker or close-up magician. You take your deck of cards, place them on the table, and spread the rest of your cards on the table to show the audience that there couldn't possibly be anything wrong with the deck. Your integrity is at stake. That's the most important part. In the meantime, the audience happens to notice that your card deck is running away. That's why we call this the runaway deck. It stops and starts seemingly on its own. In reality, it has a beautiful little motor inside. You can make it stop if you wish, but it's going to stop anyway. Go ahead. That's the way it works. It doesn't work when it's in the up position. It only works when it's flat down on the table. And that's the runaway deck. The Geneva prediction watch is perhaps the single most useful tool for a working mentalist. It is a fully functioning pocket watch. The watch is set simply by pulling the stem and turning it, and the watch is handed to the spectator so that the spectator may set the hands and familiarize himself with the workings of the watch. At that point, the watch is closed. The spectator is told to continue setting the watch to his heart's content. Now, in the meantime, you have made a prediction. The prediction is set forth in front of the audience. No matter how much the spectator sets the watch, when he or she opens the watch, it will be set to the prediction time. In this case, I believe I've set 11:44, and that can be reset immediately. The effect can be repeated indefinitely. This is the Geneva prediction watch, as I indicated, a fully functioning watch. The CW Coin Classic is one of the excellent finishes for any sort of a coin act. We developed it some 6 or 8 years ago. Fortunately, there's a wonderful clip of it in a prior edition of a Magician's Video Network tape. And if I may, I'd like to bring you back to that moment and have that tape run for you. The only thing that many coin acts lack is a climax. I've developed my own, and my second favorite way of developing it is with an effect that we call the incredible atomic coins. They work like this. It's the atomic handkerchief. I had a handkerchief when I started and a rubber band. The idea is to get the handkerchief covering the coins and have the coins vibrate in sympathy with the cards, with the molecules of the cards. When you do that, you can get an amazing effect. I'll show you. It's a wonderful illusion. It appears as if the coin drops right from the first glass through the cards and into the second glass. I'll try it again. I can do it right-handed or left-handed. That's two. If I did it with two hands, I would do it from each side simultaneously like this, and we get the number 3 coin dropping right down to the bottom. The 4th coin I generally do with my elbow, like that. And that leaves no coins up here and 4 coins there. The other day, I was rummaging through the attic, as folks are wont to do. I found some wonderful things with wonderful possibilities. I'll show you what I mean. User, may I borrow your watch? Thank you very much.
Careful, it's an expensive one.
I'll be very careful. It looks, well, it doesn't look expensive, but I'll take your word for it. Now, this is your name, sir?
Okay.
All right. I am going to try an effect with your watch that I think you'll find astonishing. Or at least you'll say it's okay. Here's the effect. The watch, and I need one other gentleman. You, sir, have we ever met before?
Never.
You look very familiar, nevertheless. I'm going to ask you to hold OK's expensive watch. Do not drop it until I tell you. Now then, inside this bag of goodies from the attic was some great things. For example, I found a little key. And the key was to a lock that was itself attached to a little walnut box. Little did I know what magical powers were within this incredible box. Now, Shelley, you're holding on to the watch. At the count of 3, drop the watch. 1, I'm never good at the high numbers. Done. No more watch. Inside the solid walnut box is a solid brass cage. And inside the cage, hanging from the center perch, is a most unusual bird. Okay, I think upon close inspection you'll find that this is indeed your watch, with my thanks for being a good sport.
It is my good.
Thank you, sir. Earlier on this tape, you saw the Midas cups. These are the large silver cups where we do the routines with the $half that travel back and forth. Just so you should be aware, this also is available in smaller brass cups that are useful for quarter size. They'll also work with, for example, French 10-franc pieces and other currency from around the world. So we just let you know that these are available. They have a nice aspect to them in as much as they ring when you're inserting the coins. It's just kind of a nice sound. We thought you'd like to be aware of them. People always say to me, Rich, how come you use round cards?
Rich, how come you use round cards?
Thank you very much. Well, the reason is that when I was first married, for years, I'd buy card trick after card trick after card trick. And at one point, my wife said, you know, you can't eat cards. Well, I figured maybe that's because we hadn't tried. So I decided I would, I'd give it a shot. Well, I tried for a couple of years, and I have to confess, I developed a certain hankering for the hearts. But after a while, you always come back to the old club sandwich. Thank you very much. So, I thought we'd develop an effect here, and we do so with the use of a standard bagel retention device right off the rack. Nothing special. I'll simply lock it in this manner, and Priscilla, if you would assist me, you may simply hold the lock. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Priscilla with the original bagels and lock. That's 2. Now then, Priscilla, touch, oh, I'm sorry, the hard way. Touch one of these on the back. Anyone you like? This one here? I know it's a little difficult to read, but try and keep this card in mind. All right? That's the hard part. The easy part is where we go from here. Simply take the deck, shuffle it up a little bit, a snap of the fingers, and the magic has been accomplished. Because you see, Priscilla, that card is no longer in this deck. This is the key to the effect. It's 3. Because you see, inside the bagel is your card. Thank you very much. Recently, in a politically dependent part of Lower Slobovia, there was a research scientist who was doing work on jewelry. They had developed a particularly effective cleansing tissue that restored any piece of jewelry to its former luster. We have found, through almost by accident, that we can go one step further. It's necessary not only to rub the ring in question, in this case, but also to heat it. When you heat it, you can bring it to a luster unseen since the days it spoke to you from that Woolworth window. Now then, watch closely. So, where are you all from? No, magic's having a way of having happy endings. This one is no different. You see, inside the lighter is your ring. Thank you very much. The concept of a chosen card being destroyed and afterwards restored one piece at a time is one that has attracted magic builders and performers literally for hundreds of years. One of the most renowned pieces of equipment was by the magic builder performer Okito. He did it with a standard size card. We decided to take it one step further. We've done it with a jumbo card. Now, in this case, you're seeing it very close up, and this is undeniably a stage piece of equipment. So you'll see the divisions in the frame. Nevertheless, I think the effect is worth performing and watching. It utilizes a transmitter and receiver. So while I'm going to stand 3 or 4 feet away, we've tested it up to 40 or 50 yards with perfect results. Also, as you'll see, there's a flash of light, and in a theater, it looks as if the pieces are literally melting into view one at a time. So let me back up just a bit. Keep your eyes on the frame and watch what appears to be true magic. Here comes piece number 1. Piece number 2. Number 3. And number 4. All of this, as I say, is remote controlled under the performer's command at any time. And after the restoration of the card, the frame is opened, the card fully restored is removed, and perhaps left with the souvenir, with the spectator as a souvenir. Here's an unusual effect. In fact, unusual enough so that it should be used only by stage workers who have a sense of the perverse. It's a relatively large cannon. It's relatively loud, which explains why I'm not doing it in these closed surroundings. But the effect is unusual. Spectator is invited onto the stage. Performer borrows spectator's watch. The watch is unceremoniously stuffed into the mouth of the cannon using a ramrod. After that, the spectator is asked to take this box and stand on the other side of the stage with the box on top of his or her head. The premise, of course, is that in a moment we will fire the watch across the stage and into the box. It'll happen too quickly to be seen, and therefore we present you with a cracker holder.